You may not even know it, but you're likely writing your resume backwards. I have a favorite phrase that I tell all the time on social media and to my clients, and that is your resume is not about you, it's about them. And this is so important because I was a former recruiter, read thousands of resumes. And one thing I noticed a lot is people would basically do a data dump. Anything and everything that they have ever done, they put on the resume. So, all their duties, maybe even some accomplishments, their education, all their certifications, their volunteer work, even their hobbies, put it all on a resume. But they forgot that the resume isn't for them, it is for the hiring team. And they don't care about a lot of that. What they care about is what is important to them. What is going to make this hire successful? So today we're going to talk about how to actually write a resume that those hiring team, that recruiter, that hiring manager is going to be thrilled about. Because we're going to talk about how to uncover patterns, to know what they think is going to be the most important thing and how to write around that. So stay tuned. I'll help you write a more effective resume. Before you start writing a resume, I want you to pull 3 to 5 resumes for roles you are interested in industries you are interested in. This is really important. When I go to write a resume for a client, I ask them to do this. I will not write a resume if they just give me a job title. No, because I need to know what those particular employers in those industries looking for that role, what they are interested in. I'm going to be looking at the commonalities because then I know those are the hot button issues in those particular industries. So if I'm writing a resume for somebody who's looking for a supply chain role and I'm reviewing those job descriptions, I might be seeing things like supplier risk, cost reduction, maybe ERP transformation. And I will go, aha, okay, those are things that need to be on the resume. Or if I am writing one for somebody in HR, maybe I will see AI or workforce planning or leadership development. When I see that, then I will go, okay, these are things that have to be on the resume because they are important to the hiring teams that are hiring for this role. What this does is help you see the macro issues. It helps you figure out not only what is important to them, but a little bit of the why that is important to them. And I use this to help write what I call a master resume. What you do is you can put all this information on a resume, and then when you actually go to apply for a specific position, then it helps make tailoring that resume for that job so much easier because you have a lot of information and then you can take out anything that won't be relevant for that particular employer. A lot easier to do than trying to rewrite all of your resume bullet points. So this is a first thing everyone should do before writing a resume. If you enjoy this information, I always appreciate hitting that like button and please subscribe to my channel. It really helps. Now that you've seen some of the patterns, what you want to do is look at the specific words that are used to try to understand the meaning behind them because you can't assume that what you think it means and what they think it means are the same thing. So let me give you an example. Let's say that they have something about thriving in ambiguity. Okay, well, what does ambiguity mean? Is it because there's truly chaos there? Is it because leadership keeps on changing their minds? Or is it because they've grown a lot and they don't have the processes in place? Different problems that being able to deal with ambiguity would lead you to want to talk about. The same thing with being able to work cross-functionally. Well, what is the important part of that cross-functional work? Is it because groups are in silos and they don't talk to each other? Is it because there's a lot of competition and that is causing problems? Or could it be that, when they're not aligned, it's costing time and money? It's important to do a little bit of investigation to try to figure out the meaning behind the words used. So when you can understand what they're talking about and you can write it on a resume, it is like ding, 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 ding. That hiring team then sees you as the answer to their problem. You understand, as an example, how to put processes in place so that the ambiguity can be decreased and that the organization will benefit. They see that on your resume. They know you are the person that can solve the problems and you are the person that they need to talk with. Now let's talk about how to use AI effectively. And a lot of you are not using it in the best way. And I know, and I hear it from recruiters, because a lot of you are having AI write your resume, just going, okay, here's all my information, write it. That's not the best use of AI. But what AI can do really well is help you with the pattern recognition. So it's good at analysis. So if you can put in your job descriptions into whatever's your favorite LLM and ask it to identify what are the commonalities in the job description or what are the business problems that this position is looking to solve, you will get some good information that will be really helpful for understanding what it is they need to read on the resume. So that can be anything from customer retention problems to product issues to, organizational issues, whatever it is for the type of role that you're interested in. But use AI for that functionality. This is going to help you take a lot of data and really focus it so you can figure out what needs to be on that resume in a fast and easy way. You want to be able to quickly figure out the patterns, what are the commonalities, and that will help you write the resume. Once you understand what is keeping that hiring manager up at night, what are their biggest problems, then you write the resume to address those problems. You start with what they want and you write to answer their need. That changes your resume. It becomes more focused and compelling for the reader, both for the recruiter who understands what that hiring manager needs and the hiring manager who has the problem. So what happens is you take vague bullet points and you make it so that it resonates with what that particular hiring team needs. As an example, you could say you do cross-functional project management. Okay, but what does that really mean? It's too vague. They don't know what that means. Instead, you could write a bullet point because you've done this pattern recognition. You know that ERP transformation is really important for them. So you talk about that you worked with operations and finance on this ERP transformation project. And the result was you had a reduction of 10% in errors. Okay, that actually solves the problem for the hiring manager who might be doing an ERP transformation. So that's how you become the more compelling person. And that is why some people who are qualified move forward in the process and others who are qualified don't. It's not because your background experience is really any different. It is about how you've written about it and how you have talked about how you answer the problem. That is the most important thing in a resume, and many of you are not doing that. So I hope I've convinced you now to change how you write a resume. Not to just do a data dump of everything that you can think of, but being strategic. What is it that they care about? And what am I going to write on my resume to align with that? That mindset change is huge, and it can change your success in the job search. And remember, this not only applies to resumes, it applies to your LinkedIn profile and figuring out how to write it so that it addresses your hiring manager's needs, your networking and what you talk about, as well as your interview prep and what you want to say in the interview that they're going to actually light up because they realize, oh, that person gets it. They know what my problems are. So make sure that you are thinking about your audience. You do that, and you'll be a way more successful candidate in your job search. If you're interested, I offer a resume strategy session where I will go over, what to do to write a resume that's very impactful. So I teach you how to write that resume. If you're interested, I have more in the description box.